We came here to Captain Bob's to enjoy a great meal. We had the opportunity to get to know behind the scenes a great motivator, which he's a great fighter, Omar Juarez, El Relampago!
Cool. Hey, we're here at Captain Bob's in Brownsville. We're talking here with Omar Juarez. Just we're trying to get to know him on a personal level. Yeah, he's a boxer, but we want to know, what he does. What he. Hey, chill. So hey, man. So what do you do on your spare time when you're not fighting? What is your fun?
Yeah, I like to do stuff out of my comfort zone. I like to go. I'll go fishing. I'll go swimming. I'll go golfing. I'll do stuff that's really out of my comfort zone. Do a lot of vlogging for YouTube, but really it's just rest my body for the next training camp. But that's what I like to do in my free time: golf, swimming. I'll just hang out with my friends, hang out with my family too.
Awesome. That's awesome. So then, how many? How many fights have you done so far? Big events. How many big events have you had in your career?
Yes, as of now, I have 7 professional fights, 4 knockouts. But my next fight's possibly going to be in April. They're going to keep me as busy as possible. I'm going to try to fight 5 to 6 times this year. So I'm going to fight a lot.
You don't feel like you might overdo yourself?
No, as long as I feel healthy, I think I'm good. It all depends on the fighter. And right now I feel healthy. I feel 100%. I'm still young. I'm only 20 years old, so I'm trying to stay as busy as possible.
You know what I noticed about you, bro? You're a 20-year-old. I have some, I have 21-year-old and a 26-year-old, boys. They're always on the phone. They don't let go of the phone. I have not seen you with your phone in your hand. You're not like, you're not with your phone in your hand. So you're more like about life, about doing stuff. You're not just focused. Yeah, I'm sure you're into social media and all that. Of course you are. Like everybody. But you know that you respect that there's a certain time for that. You were all sitting together with your family and all that. You were sitting with your family, so you respected that time with your family. You put your phone away. You put your phone away, and I saw that, so it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to be like everybody else. I see everybody else just with the phones, even crossing the street sometimes, just looking down the phone. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't.
Yeah, and I see people driving, on their phone. So
it's an art.
What's going on? Good to see you. Captain Bob, I'm happy y'all are here, okay?
Yes.
And I remember you.
Yes, of course.
You remember me?
Yes, of course I do.
Congratulations on the
Thank you, Robert.
okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
So what else can you tell me about yourself? What motivates you? What's the passion? What's your passion?
Well, ever since I was smaller, ever since I started boxing at the age of 8 years old, a lot of boxers listen to music, to pump them and motivate them, to basically go hard in the gym. I never listened to music. I was 8 years old listening to motivational speeches on YouTube. A lot of that, like those Rocky speeches, stuff like that, I would listen to, and that's really what motivated me. And I told myself, as my amateur career got a little bit bigger, I started getting more known. I told myself, like, well, if the power of words can motivate myself, why can't I do that for my community? I've never heard of a professional boxer / motivational speaker here in the Valley or anything like that. So I told myself, maybe I can be the first. Maybe I can do something. Maybe I'll be good at it. So then, fresh out of high school, I graduated at 16, and then I started, working out, like, to see how I can make like some steps or something like that. Because I told myself I wanted to speak to elementary kids too, because they're the future of Brownsville. They're the future of this nation. So I feel like they need that extra push. So I ended up coming out with 6 key principles on how to achieve your goals, which are no excuses, confidence, discipline, strategy, teamwork, and self-worth.
Okay. Repeat that again. You went too fast. I want to make sure I learn.
Yeah. So no excuses. Obviously, the most simple one. You can't have any excuses. More excuses you use, the further away you're going to get from your goal. You got to keep climbing that ladder of success and have confidence in yourself. Confidence is very, very important. The way I show confidence, I have a big smile on my face because I tell the kids I'm confident that I train hard to beat the person in front of me. I'm confident that I'm going to become the very first world champion from Brownsville, Texas. Now, all that confidence, you need discipline. Of course, you need to be a disciplined athlete, entrepreneur, anything. Anything you want to do, you have to be disciplined at it. You got to put in overtime. You can't follow a schedule. You can't be training from 5:30 to 6:30 and that's it. You got to put in overtime. You got to put in hours. You only have 24 hours in a day. Your success depends upon how you use the 24. You got to use it very wisely. So then, leads to strategy. You need a strategy, you need a game plan. What are the steps that you're going to get to there? What's the pinnacle where you're trying to get? You need steps to get there. That's your strategy. Of course, one of the most important parts is teamwork. People who motivate you, people who say you can do it, also people who tell you you can't. That's also motivation. A lot of people have told me, man, you're not gonna do anything as a boxer, you're not gonna do anything in Brownsville. I'm sorry, but nobody's ever done it. You're not fast enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough. People have told me that. That is really what motivates me a lot too. When I feel like giving up, when I feel like man, the sport's getting hard, it's getting lonely, it's getting tough, I tell myself, like, I have a lot of people to prove right, so much more people to prove wrong. That's what fuels me. That's the fifth one. The most important one is self-worth. Self-worth is how you feel about yourself, kind of like Muhammad Ali, who he told everybody that he was the greatest of all time before everybody knew he was. And that's why I tell the students that they need to tell themselves that each and every day. When they feel like giving up, when they really don't know what they want to do in life, they have to dig deep, whether it's crazy or not, their dream. I mean, everybody has different dreams. I remember telling people my dream when I was 8 years old, and people looked at me like if I was crazy, but I told them, whatever your dream is, remember, you have to dream so big that small-minded people don't understand you. They look at you like if you're crazy. Because I've experienced that. I've experienced to where I say that, nobody claps, nobody looks at me like, yeah, you're gonna do it. Everybody just look down on me, basically. That's really what motivates me a lot.
And and those principles could be used. Well, at the time you use them in boxing.
Yeah, and I tell them you could use them.
Right, it could be used for anything, any career, anybody's life. Not even a career, just as your personal life. To better yourself, to get to that goal, whatever your goal may be, as crazy as it may be. If you stick to those principles, or somebody sticks to those principles, and I think I'm gonna try those principles, bro.
We're gonna apply them ourselves too.
I'm gonna apply them. I'm gonna apply them to my life. I'm not saying I'm not successful. Well, I don't know if I am or if I'm not, but I'm happy. So to me, that's success. To be happy and to be surrounded by true friends. So to me, that's success. And then having health, true friends, and to be happy. To me, that's a successful thing. But I'm gonna try your steps. I think I could improve my life a little bit. And I know you're looking forward to it.
I definitely am. Like I said, they were keeping me really, really busy, so I think my next one's gonna be sometime in April, mid-April.
Do you already know your opponent? Do you know who it is?
They'll tell me once it's confirmed. That's when they'll tell me.
Okay.
But we're aiming for April.
Yeah, I saw that last video. I think you were in a hotel room or something like that. That they had switched the fighter that you're supposed to fight. I know it's important because you have to study your opponent before the fight. We have to study the way of fighting, their style, and all that, which kind of helps you. And I'm sure he studied you. But in this case, they just threw a different guy out there, which his record, was way different than the guy you were supposed to fight. And you had no idea who this guy was, but yet you still, stood your ground, and you're like, you know what? Like a challenge.
Basically.
It didn't matter who was in front of you. If you stuck to your principles, which, back to your principles, you stuck to them. It didn't matter who your opponent, who the person in front of you was, because you stuck to those principles. And you saw that end goal of winning, and
exactly.
I think
I had told myself when they told me, look, we switched your opponent. I'm sorry for the misconvenience and everything. I told them in my head, I was just like, it's okay. I trained my ass off for an 8-round fight to go the distance. I trained for a world title basically. I train hard, doesn't matter who it is. Once I get in the ring, it's all business. The person that's in front of me, because I personally don't like hitting people. I don't. Boxing's a very scary sport, and I just happen to be good at it. I just happen to be good at it, but I'm going to use this platform later on to help people eventually. But what I tell myself is, I get on the ring, I'm a different person. I look at it this way, the person in front of me is trying to take my future away from me. All the hours and hours I put into the gym, blood, sweat, and tears I put into this sport, he's trying to take away from me. So that's why a switch comes on and different person.
That's awesome. That's a good way to see it, man. I mean, he's trying to take your future, and you're like, nah, you ain't taking nothing.
It's how to mirror him, kill or be killed. So that's how it is in the ring. But they did switch the opponent, but I told myself I'm not gonna let that get to me. I don't care who he's fought. He's never fought me.
Awesome. That was awesome. Hey, how's it going? We're here with Omar Juarez's dad, Relampago. So he was telling me that you're one of his trainers. How do you go about doing that? What did you see in him that you said, that's it, he's it?
Well, at first, it was just everything started with my older son, with Rudy Juarez III, and he was my main priority. And Omar was he just wanted to follow his brother's footsteps. So Omar was just there, you know what I mean? Everything was Rudy, and Omar would lose, and I would, it's okay, papi, don't worry about it. You'll be all right. And then I was just Rudy, and then Rudy one day just told me, you know what, I don't want to box anymore. So I told him, all right, man, well, do what you got to do. So I turned around and told him, you want to box? He's like, yeah, I want to keep boxing. Okay, all right, let's do it. So then all my attention was to Omar. That's when I saw something in him that his brother didn't have. It was just he had amazing footwork and amazing speed. But he was very small and he was kind of wild with it. But I said, there's something there. You know, there's something special there, and not a few people saw it, but I saw it, man. I mean, it was clear to me. And after that, I had him with a few coaches here in Brownsville that helped me a lot with it because I was a truck driver.
Yeah.
And as soon as Omar turned about 16, I got off the truck to 100% dedicate myself to him. Yes.
Focus on them.
So then I started training him, and when I was on the road, I would train him, but only the days that I was home. Then I would take him with other coaches. Then I started training him 100%, and everything. As soon as I started training him, within like 5 months of me training him, I made him into a national champion in the amateurs. And then from there, we went all over the USA, fighting everywhere. And then we took his little brother, Sebastian, with us. And then he started doing good also. But that's how it all began with me and Omar. And now what I do is I still train him. I'm a set trainer. I train him here at home for when he has 2 months of camp. So I train him for a month, and then I send him to San Antonio with a friend of mine, a coach, Rick Nunez. You know, he trains a couple of national world champions, and he's the coach that I trusted to take my son to, and he's been doing a great job with him, and so both of us train him. You know what I mean?
And then it shows that he's been, that you've both been doing a good job. You know,
Yeah.
you both get the credit for that because
Yeah.
it's kind of half and half on that.
Yeah, we've been doing a good job with him, and he's getting better and better.
Yes.
He's fighting harder oppositions, and he's looking good out there, man.
Yes, he is.
Everybody, I mean, he looks good on TV. Yeah, he looks good on TV.
Were you a boxer too, by any chance?
I did some amateur boxing. I fought a few fights in the amateurs, but
I'm not talking about street fights, man.
well, I did, bro. I got into boxing because for all the wrong reasons, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't have as much talent as my kids, but I was all right. You know, I was pretty good.
Yeah.
It helped me to survive. You know.
Yeah.
On the streets.
Yeah, I have, there were two of my brothers. I'm the youngest of 7 brothers. 2 of my brothers were boxers. One was in it. He's kind of like your son, very, kind of quiet. He was in it for the sport. I have another brother that was in it because he loved to fight.
Yeah.
He was always fighting out on the street and all that. So somebody kind of took him. So he's like, hey man, just why don't you do it, with gloves on? Do it the right way. That way you're not getting arrested. You're not getting in trouble. So he kind of, tried that, but he didn't have the guidance, the right guidance. He didn't have, somebody to morally, kind of push him the right direction. So he was doing good, but he didn't have the support like your son does. Your son's got a lot of support, of course, with his family and everybody, and that's very important to have that support around. Otherwise, they could kind of lose it, especially, somebody very young. I'm sure he's going to start making money, and somebody to keep him focused is like, no, that's not, don't let that money get to your head, just, focus on what you're doing, because like any other sports, like football players and all that, they get thrown all this, money at them, and they kind of go crazy, they lose it, and they forget about the actual sport that got them that money. So, but I see in your son that he's not one of those, because he's got you all support, you and your wife and, the family and friends and a lot of people that are, backing him up to keep him kind of on the right path, which is very important for that.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much has his head on his shoulders. He's very smart, very focused on what he wants, and ever since he was a little boy, he already knew what he wanted, and he's very humble.
Yes.
And of course, once he starts making that money, it's gonna be a challenge, for him to, like you said, for him not to go to the dark side, right? Pero he has us, to help him with that.
Cool. That's awesome.
So is it hard? Do you think it's harder as a father to also be his coach than if you were training somebody else that wasn't your son?
Yes, it's very hard, man. It's very hard, especially because I gotta make decisions that, like this past fight, the guy had 38 fights. The guy was a veteran, a 28-year-old veteran. When they tell you a veteran and the guy's 40 years old, he's 40, but when they tell you he's a veteran but he's 28, he's strong, you know what I mean? And then the guy had just fought with an Olympian the fight before, and he went the distance with him. And then he fought Lucas Matisse, he fought Marcos Maidana, he fought Alvarado, he fought a bunch of big names in the boxing. And he went the distance with some of them. And but we saw video, we watched the video, and me and Rick were like, let's do it. I think he can take on this guy. And it was a gamble we did with him, right? But I know what I got.
Okay.
And Omar's very smart, very elusive, fast footwork, and it just showed the boxing world where his level's at. But it's hard, man. It's hard to be a father and a coach, because sometimes you're up on the ring and you got to be a coach, not a father. And sometimes you got to be a father, not a coach. You can't be both. Especially when they get hit hard, you gotta, hey, come on, not like, oh, mijo. Yeah. You know what I mean? It hurts you on the inside, bro. Yes. But you can't show it. I can't show my son. He knows when I'm nervous, but when I get up on the ring with him, I leave that nervousness, the father nervousness. I leave it off the ring, and on the ring, I'm the coach. So that's what you gotta learn how. You gotta learn how to separate that, because you can't mix them up, man.
Yeah. I bet. I mean, I would have been nervous. That was my son, and they told me he's fighting this older guy, very experienced. I would have been nervous, but I would have kind of left it up to him. And also, I mean, you said you know his training, you know his skills, and then once you knew this, you knew he could pair up with him, and like you said, you took a gamble and it worked out. But I would have been a bit nervous, as a father. I think my father instinct would have been like, man, I don't want my kid to get hit by another.
I would ask myself, man, am I doing the right decision? I mean, this is a step up for him, man. He only has 6 fights. What am I doing? But there's just something. His path is already, his road is already there, man. Yeah. And it just showed that he's gonna make it, man.
Yes,
he's gonna make it. But he's showing a lot of people that he's special. A special kid. And all his hard work, his work ethic, his hard work, his focus, his discipline is showing off. Yeah. And it's showing off on national television. And that's what those are the fruits of his labor.
My name is Jorge Sanchez, and I've been in the branded products and marketing business for all of my career. I started working out at a boxing gym here in Brownsville about 5-6 years ago, and I met a young man named OmAr Juarez. Omar was working out I was working out at Omar's gym, really practically. And as I got to know him, first of all, I got to know him as a gifted athlete. And as time went on and I got to know him better, I noticed that he wanted to fight professionally. And I said, well, you have all the tools to do that, and I think you'll go far. As time went on, I began to become aware that he not only will go far, I think he could possibly, if he continues to work hard, he could possibly distinguish himself among the fighters and even the greatest that there's ever been, because he has a number of tools and features in his fight style that I've probably never seen before. Okay, he's a Mexican style fighter with the hooks to the body, but he has an urban type of a footwork style. What do I mean by urban? What I mean by that is the African American style, and boxing is very flag waving and flag bearing and divides among nationalities and races. So you'll hear things like that. he fights like a black guy, or he fights like a Mexican, or okay. Omar has a very strange dichotomy of both styles. So when I started to notice that, I said, you're really going to go far because you have some features that I've never seen before, and I've seen tens of thousands of fights. And so as time went on further, I also started to notice his inner personality, his way of being, his thought patterns. He's a very solemn, quiet person, especially for his age. I saw the maturity level, and I saw the potential for a future leader. I'm not the only one. Other people have seen it too. There's a state senator named Eddie Lucio who's been elected to office. I couldn't tell you, maybe 10, 15 times, maybe the last 45 years. He's been successfully reelected. That shows that he's a leader, and that also shows that the people relate to him and identify with him. Eddie Lucio told Omar in person after 15 or 20 minutes after meeting him that he felt he was in the presence of a leader. I like to tell Omar a lot of times, Omar, I'm not talking to you. When I talk to you about all these deep subjects, I'm not talking to your 20-year-old self, which is who he is to 21, right? Just 20? Which is who he is today. I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your 27, 28-year-old self, okay? Because I want you to become prepared, because I think that's where you're headed. I think fate has laid out a road for you, and I think you are following that path. And I want you to be prepared, and I want to help you prepare yourself to get there. After I noticed this inner voice, I felt that it was important to expose that to large numbers of people. The people in leadership right now are older. We are set in our ways. I'm 58 years old. We're set in our ways. The way to get a message across, have it make a difference and resonate, is through the youth, through young people, because they're the future leaders, like him. So we embarked upon, through his initial idea, we embarked upon an effort to start to communicate that to the students in Brownsville at BISD, Brownsville Independent School District. We got permission to access the campuses, and didn't know how it would go. I mean, really, weren't sure at all. We got together and worked on it. Omar came up with 6 principles that he uses in his everyday life. I helped him to manage those principles into an understandable message, and we went. The outcome was extremely positive, and to this day, again, he continues to get feedback on his social media and things like that. That leads us to know that in the future, the way he was accepted by the people in his community is the way that he'll be accepted globally, because we're talking here about the collective. We're talking here about a group of people, not one person. One thing is convincing someone one-on-one, but another thing is convincing someone 1 on 1,000 or 1 on 10,000. That's different. The collective. Omar has the ability to resonate with a group of people, large groups of people, and therefore eventually society in general. And that's the goal. Where I'm aiming, or where I'm like projecting, is toward corporate America and global corporations that will understand the value of associating themselves with an athlete that has a contribution to society in mind, and that's his goal. Because the top 50 corporations had a meeting last year about where they're focusing their efforts, and it used to be solely at profit, solely toward profit. For the first time last year, and they've been getting together every year for many, many years, since I think the 70s. For the first time last year, they dropped the profit theme and started to attach themselves to what can we do for community. And the reason is because that's a new wave. The millennials coming up, That's what they want. They want accountability, and they want to know what the corporations that they do business with are doing for society. So it's a perfect fit for an athlete, professional athlete, to become an endorser for these kind of companies interested in aligning themselves with that profile. And that's where we're at. That's why this is all kind of forming and gelling on its own. And I think Omar has a real good opportunity. Now he has a platform called professional boxing that is a highly televised and highly promoted sport. And it's a very emotional sport. It's not a team sport, it's an individual sport. And so it has all the components necessary to further this effort and align him with that kind of profile. Speech where he promotes the 6 principles to achieving your goals. Why? Because he has to use them in his personal life and his chosen sport. He has to apply those principles, or else there's gonna be something missing. And so he tells the kids, hey, listen to me because I do it every day. I'm not just blowing air at you. I'm telling you that you need to do this. And they're the 6 principles to achieving your goals.
Anytime I can. I mean, the gym lives like 5 minutes away from our house. So like, I'll skate sometimes to the gym sometimes. But my little brother, he has a Santa Cruz. I got him that one. It was a longboard, and I have a cruiser. I'm not sure what the brand is. I think it was like a custom board, someone spray painted it. But I fixed it up. I fixed it like the bearings and everything. I fixed it up so it
the good bearings. Yeah, so you could go fast.
Yeah, I got the good bearings.
The German bearings.
Yeah.
German bearings. Yeah, those are, I could never afford those when I skated. You know, I was just
independent.
See, no, that was from I had one of those, but somebody donated that to me without them knowing.
Oh,
man, we're here on Southmost. This is a famous bridge. This is where, this is Southmost. This is where we have that began. This is where our roots are from. This is his roots, his parents. And it's all the culture. This is a different, part of Brownsville. So how do you feel being back here, bro? This is where your dad grew up. This is bring memories. I know you were here as a kid. What do you feel being back here, bro?
It's not so much Southmost, but Brownsville in general. Every time I always tell everybody there's no place like home. No place like home. Every time you get into Brownsville, it's just a different feeling. That I don't know. It's different. You can't really explain it through words, but every time I leave, I'm always like, man, I want to go back home. I want to go back home. My grandma lives like right here. I mean, this is home. I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support. All my sponsors. We're actually here at one of them at Captain Bob's. And just want to thank all the support from everybody, from Brownsville, from the Valley. I love you guys so much. Without you, I mean, I wouldn't get on the ring with so much confidence. Thank you guys so much, and together we're going to become the very first world champion from Brownsville, Texas. Love you guys.